Why does the IDF have to use nuclear weapons on apartment buildings? A guide. Guys, oh, this is a good one. Gaza isn't an open air prison. It's a means tested overflow facility with walls for disenfranchised people of not Israel. The IDF targets nurseries because some of those kids might join Hamas. Oh yeah. Listen, the point is this propaganda is so bad because like they're so comfy with their fucking brutality that like they kind of don't care anymore. That's why I assume for like normal people who see this, they're like, what the fuck? This is psychotic. You know what I mean? Like this shit only works if you've already demonstrated like absolute blind loyalty to Israel and like everything they do, and you just don't view Palestinians as like human beings, which unfortunately plenty of people don't. So I guess it does work on a group of individuals. But like this is like not bringing new people to their side, I don't think. That apartment picture literally just says we're fine with killing hundreds of civilians for 2 Hamas members. My friend is Israeli and on mandatory assignment in the IDF, and he's doing social media. It's all Zoomers sabotaging them. If Israel wanted to do an ethnical cleansing, Gaza would already be far gone. Dude, they are already far gone. What the fuck are you talking about? Dude, it's 1.9 million people. It's not that easy to fucking ethnically cleanse 1.9 million people, okay? Like, you're wrong. And they are already doing that. They just have them in a submissive state. No, this is bad propaganda because the right wing is trying to reach out the center left people or left of center people and they don't know how to do it. Yeah. Also, they're doing it they're in the process. Also, what kind of fucking take is that, dude? You're literally like, you sound like a Nazi being like, if fucking Hitler wanted to wipe out the Jews, he would have done it immediately. He wouldn't need to like take them in the fucking concentration camps or some shit. Like, these are actual fucking fascist talking points. I'm talking with a friend about this issue, and his argument is that Hamas would refuse the one-state solution. Yeah, fuck them. Who gives a shit? In your mind, how do we deal with the current day radicalized Hamas because we can't change the past and all messed up the world is done? Hey, Hamas is only powerful as long as their existence is justifiable in the eyes of Palestinians who have been brutalized by the Israeli state. A good way to fucking end Hamas's existence is not by consistently creating more members of Hamas by bombing the fuck out of Gaza, but instead by taking a more ethical approach and not bombing the fuck out of Gaza and offering all citizens equal citizenship. Okay? Insane. The answer is just to negotiate with Fatah only. That will make people more likely to vote Fatah if it means peace. How many of the Hamas have killed their own missiles which did not reach the territory outside of Gaza? And why do you not mention how many people in Israel have been murdered from the Hamas? Until now, the Hamas fighters hide themselves behind the childs of Gaza? What? Hamas is blowing their own citizens up with their own missiles is such a fucking... that's like a pathetic person who has already like given up on the argument and they're just straight up just like, no, it's actually not Israel leveling entire city blocks. It's Hamas doing it. And as we talk, if I'm not mistaken, hold on, I want to look at this video really quickly, see if it's okay to stream. But like ground troops are mobilizing Ground troops are mobilizing as well. This isn't a video from that, but a separate one. Didn't know you lived in Israel and lived with the people and knew what they thought of this whole topic, lol. Yeah, dude, as a political commentator, I only speak about issues that I have personal experience and personal relationship with. Don't you know that that's how it works? Also, history in its entirety is not a subject that you should ever even learn because you weren't there. So how could you possibly know? You're right, dude. Very cool. Thank you. There's fucking little kids and women there, by the way. Why are the soldiers so small? Their peepees are small. This is like a Hamas recruitment ad. I mean, all of this shit is. IDF spokesperson says IDF air and ground forces are now attacking the Gaza Strip. More details to come as of 3 minutes ago. And there it is. Casualty comparisons for reference. Here it is, dude. These are conservative estimates too. There you go. Does that seem proportional to you? Does that seem like a proportional response to you? Does that seem like there's equal sides to this conflict? I mean, these are coming from the IDF, just for the record. Like, this is not. These are the most conservative estimations. Why does it say targets hit versus rockets fired? Because Israel doesn't show the rockets that they fired. They just show the targets that they hit, and even then, it pales in comparison to the rockets fired from Gaza because rockets fired from Gaza don't hit targets usually, because either they're like fucking a shitty ass like bathtub meth equivalent of fucking rockets they make, or they're intercepted by the Iron Dome. Yeah, I mean, this is just one aspect of the conflict. Jesus Christ, look at this. The rockets Hamas uses cost like $800 each. Yeah, the rockets Israel uses are $40,000. Unless you meant that to be like, oh, dude, actually, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, they're spending a lot of money. Irish Marxist reps makes great points against Israeli ambassador to Ireland.
Extraordinary. Are you not just taking us, ambassador, for idiots? That you can say with a straight...
Did I run a fucking ad at 2? Or did I forget? Fuck me. I think I forgot, didn't I? Let me see. Yeah, I ran one an hour ago. I forgot to run one. I'm going to run it right now. If you'd like to no longer see the ads, boys, you already know. All you need to do is subscribe. You can do it for $5 or for free. With a Twitch Prime, you get a free Prime subscription that you can use on whoever the fuck you want to. Here's the ad. And I'm going to start the video again. Okay. I'm running the fucking ad right now. Okay. And here's the
place.
video.
We're serious about peace, but while we're serious about peace, we're going to seize Palestinian land. And you expect the Palestinians to just sit back and do nothing about that. Now, you know what the Palestinian people have been asking for. Far less even than some people would ask for. Because I believe the whole apartheid system should be dismantled. But what they've asked for is to lift the siege of Gaza. Just to lift the siege of Gaza. Let them have an airport. Let them have ports. Let them not be dictated to by a government for whom they do not vote as to what can go in and out of their territories, whether they will have power, whether they will have clean water, whether they will have medicine. What makes you think you're allowed to have nuclear weapons and the fourth biggest army in the world and visit destruction on the people of Gaza? Ambassador, I will say frankly, I'm one of the people who thinks you should be expelled from this country, and I believe that it's to do with the policies of your state. If I was Jewish and had never stepped foot in Israel, I could claim citizenship there tomorrow. But 6 million people whose origins are in what you now call Israel, who were forced out in 1947 or 48, do not have that right. Isn't that part of the reason why the Palestinians are in dispute with Israelis? Because you deny them the right to return to their homes and to their land and to their villages, and that they have a legitimate claim, even under international law, to return, but you deny them that right. Why do you deny them that right? And why do you give that right to other people who have no connection whatsoever with the land, whether you call it Israel or whether you call it Palestine? Why do you continue to seize land if you're serious about Oslo and the two-state solution, which under that agreement is land designated to be Palestinian land? 500,000 people, most of which has taken place since Oslo. You allow that to happen.
Take a lesson in history. The Palestinians are the only ones responsible for the situation. Instead of spreading false information and hatred, actually learn something. Whenever Hamas, Ramallah, whoever have acknowledged Israel's right to exist in the world regardless of borders. What? I'm so confused by this. Like, it doesn't even fucking... This motherfucker put Palestinians in quotes, dude. You are such a sick freak. I swear to God. Bias much? Most biased stream on Twitch, LMAO. Bias much? You deny Israel's right to exist, though? Dude, you literally deny Palestine's right to exist. You deny Palestinians' right to exist. And the worst part about it is that Palestinians that say, like, oh, Israel should have never existed, or fuck Israel, or whatever the fuck, they have no power. But you, on the other hand, are justifying ongoing ethnic cleansing. Like, that's the difference. It's fucking reality, you ape. Ethnic cleansing, LMAO. Can you define ethnic cleansing while going on your hatred crusade? Yes, I can define ethnic cleansing. Yeah, what Israel is literally doing in both the occupied... What Israel is literally doing in both the occupied West Bank and especially in fucking Gaza is ethnic cleansing. The displacement of Palestinians as a project, as an ethno-state building project that Israel has had since basically its inception. Motherfucker put Palestinians in quotes. You are such a fucking rabid, like, you are such a rabid, bloodthirsty animal, dude. You literally are fucking scum. You're worth less than the fucking dog shit I step on, dude. My God. If a Palestinian ever spoke of an Israeli in this kind of fucking term, you literally justify all death and destruction upon all Palestinians. And yet you speak of Palestinians in this way? It's fucking disgusting, dude. How we deny the right to exist? We agreed to 48 and 67. Yeah, dude. You're really agreeing to 48 and 67 right now with what the fuck's going on. God damn. Like, you are literally a Nazi. It doesn't matter if you're Jewish or not. You are operating exactly like the fucking Nazi did with their rabid hatred against the Jews. How is it? It's so fucking hard to comprehend this for some people. I don't understand how.
Why do you allow it to happen? if you're serious about giving this land to the Palestinians. It's absolutely extraordinary. Are you not just taking us, Ambassador, for idiots? That you can say with a straight face, we're serious about peace, but while we're serious about peace, we're going to seize Palestinian land. And you expect the Palestinians to just sit back and do nothing about that. Now, you know what the Palestinian people have been asking for. Far less even than some people would ask for. Because I believe the whole apartheid system should be dismantled. But what they've asked for is to lift the siege of Gaza. Just to lift the siege of Gaza. Let them have an airport. Let them have ports. Let them not be dictated to by a government for whom they do not vote as to what can go in and out of their territories, whether they will have power, whether they will have clean water, whether they will have medicine. What makes you think you're allowed to have nuclear weapons and the fourth biggest army in the world and visit destruction on the people of Gaza, but they have no right to defend themselves? They have no territorial sovereignty over that land.
Would you ask questions, please?
How do you justify that?
Yeah. All right.
How do you justify those double standards? Very lastly, Ambassador, people like Bishop Tutu, Nelson Mandela, and I would certainly describe your state as a apartheid state, with different laws for people depending on their race or religion. For example, at checkpoints going into the West Bank, there's a channel if you're Israeli or European, and there's a channel if you're Arab. Just because you're Arab. If you came into Dáil Éireann and they stopped you and said, are you Jewish? Oh no, sorry, you can't come in through the same entrance as Irish people or European people because you're Jewish. You would call that racism and apartheid. You practice that with your checkpoints and your military barriers and your apartheid wall. How can you justify that?
Gaza has lost most power and the ground invasion is in progress. Videos will come soon live from Gaza. My family didn't agree to have our village taken in 48, and we didn't agree to walk from Jericho to Amman, Jordan on foot, being chased and shot at by Israeli jeeps and tanks in a 67. Dude, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. Hey, you should maybe ask yourself, did you flee or you were forcibly displaced from your home? You know, as Conan O'Brien did yesterday. Come on, there's a distinction. It's hotly disputed. Can you imagine fucking literally having that point of view? Just like people talking about like how they're subjected to living in fucking refugee camps in their own country, in their own territory, in their own homeland. And the question is like, Conan O'Brien's like, well, you know, there's a difference between like forcible displacement and people fleeing their homes. Ireland has always been anti-Israel and is one of the only European countries which has the balls to. I'm proud of my country. Well, I wonder why. I wonder why the Irish would have such strong opinions on, I don't know, ongoing occupation of an indigenous peoples. I mean, that's crazy. That would be so strange to think about. Why? I don't get it. The fuck do you mean, dude? They have experienced similar issues with England throughout their history. That's literally, they can straight up make a one-to-one comparison almost. I go to a very lib school, and all day I've been seeing fake woke pro-Israel infographics. It's so clear the right wings are trying to make a narrative where being pro-Israel is woke, and at least in my school it is working. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this much. Just like I said during the George Floyd protests when they originally started in America, I never thought that I would have fucking 40,000 people listening to what I have to say about Black Lives Matter. I actually never thought that I would be able to speak openly about Palestine and the issues that Palestinian people have been, the problems that they've been subjected to by Israel, and have so many people actually hear it out and also listen to it and understand that side. This is like unheard of. The amount of support that Palestinians are now getting from the international community is literally fucking unheard of, because they certainly weren't going to get it from those fucking dog shit Gulf state governments and their dog of a fucking administration's there. Those fucking cowards. Okay? So, I mean, that's the reality. Morals and built intelligence is powerful and people listen. And Joe Biden too. I mean, dude, our government is responsible for every single individual child death. Like I said, we look away, but we're taking a side. We're actively taking a side in the ongoing genocide, dude. And that side is with the genociders. Anyway. You come here and you're going to end up finding yourself in the Turkish embassy. What? Anyway. Oh, RT Russia Today is just like straight fucking broadcasting it. But is it ethical genocide? Oh, totally. Do not, please, Hassan, the IRA and Hamas are not the same, please. The PIRA and the Sinn Féin are very different from Hamas. The situation may be similar, but do not compare them. Seriously, please. They're more similar to Fatah. Yeah, no, I'm not saying they're... No. I never said that, like, Ireland is pro-Hamas. I said that I understand why the Irish people would understand the conflict because it's so fucking personal to them. I never said that. I'm not saying that, like, the IRA is like Hamas. I refuse to go on birthright. It honestly makes me sick that I can't get all expenses paid trip to Israel. Dude, that's crazy. I've told you this before, dude. If you have an opportunity to get a fucking free trip to Israel, like, yeah, I mean, do it. Bye, Nico. Why the fuck wouldn't you? Just do it. Know what the fuck they're feeding you, and remember the propaganda and report back to us about what the fuck they told you. Anyway, Ireland may be incredibly poor Palestine, but we just had our Palestine march stopped by the state while anti-mask lockdown protests were allowed while COVID restrictions were even tougher. I think they just couldn't stop the COVID anti-mask lockdowns. IRA did engage in an extensive bombing, though. Do you know what the Israeli flag means? What? Apart from being a national movement, Zionism was also a colonial endeavor aiming at the colonization of Palestine with the help of a large colonial power from those who divided the lands of natives. I mean, yeah. Like, I understand the interest that Jewish people have in building a homeland. I don't have a problem with that. Same with fucking Kurds. I don't have a problem with that either. But your homeland can't be built upon stolen land, and its only justification for existence is like thousands of years in the past, and its continued existence relies on murdering and displacing indigenous populations. Like, you can't fucking do that. Palestinians say birthright plays a role in ethnic cleansing, so Jews should boycott. I mean, I could understand that. I know İsrail kara saldırısına başladı Filistin'e karşı. Farkındayım, evet. How many homelands are built upon stolen land? That's a great question. All of them, right? Almost all of them. Except you should ask yourself, like, I guess you would find it allowable. Like, I guess like all the slavery and the genocides that occurred, like, I guess you would not only stand by or stand back and let it happen, but you would also defend it, I guess. Do you see what I'm saying? Because this is happening right now. No one is disputing that like every single land has inherently been stolen, or there's always been ongoing conflict. What I simply ask of you is to look at the situation that is right before your fucking eyes, and recognize what happens over and over again. And I guess it kind of shows. I guess it basically kind of shows that you would allow that sort of thing to happen. It's not about the land, it's about the rights of the people on that land? Yes. They literally left their homeland, came back years later, stole the land, and killed the indigenous people. I mean, they were allowed to be placed on that land by another colonial power. I think that's important to also recognize. Like, a lot of Jews had nowhere to go, and so they were placed there by another colonial power, which is at the heart of so much of this historic conflict. I don't know if this is real or not. I saw the Instagram story of like a IDF soldier claiming that he was selling Palestinians or whatever. I don't know how real that is. Please help. I'm arguing with my dad. He said name states that warn their target and give people 1 hour to leave before bombing the buildings where leaders of the terrorist organizations reside. All of Israel's neighbors want to push Israeli people into the fucking sea. Wouldn't you defend yourself? Ask your dad if it would be all right if, like, I don't know, the Mexican state warned you before bombing your house. Listen, they ultimately warned you, like, and I guess someone else is living there. They said the justification is because someone else is literally living there. Guys, come on. We're warning you ahead of time. Where can you go? Who cares? Where can we go? It doesn't matter. Don't worry about that. Oh, yeah. Some of the most pathetic shit I've heard. When it comes to Israel, memes have replaced morality. Barry Weiss with another fucking fire fuego take. I can't believe... I'm so glad she left the New York Times. Like, she self-canceled from the New York Times so she could fucking cry about this shit. Okay? I plan to take the morning off. The doctor says that stress is not good for baby making. But sitting here, scrolling through my phone, looking at this tsunami of lies that have permeated every Instagram story and every viral meme and every TikTok video and every popular Twitter account. I am weeping. Hold on. Hold on. For the past few years, leaders within the American Jewish community have been deeply worried about whether the Democratic Party, with the win now in the sales of the Squad, would go the way of labor under Jeremy Corbyn. That question now seems tragically parochial. The world has gone Corbyn. Look online. When Andrew Yang, the frontrunner in the New York mayoral race, tweeted on Monday, "I'm standing with the people of Israel," AOC rallied the online hordes. The anodyne statement was, she said, utterly shameful, and the pile-on ensued. By Wednesday, Yang had all but apologized. The ratio is the new veto. How pathetic. It turns out America didn't need a Corbyn. We just needed a Twitter and a few reckless demagogues in Congress. And now supporters of Israel, including many Jews, are so scared of getting bullied online that they've just decided to sit in silence, hoping the lies will dissipate on their own. Give me more of this. I need to read this in its entirety. Like, this is so bad. I actually got a lot of pro-Israel infographics saved. If you want to look at them for content, here is one. Let's see. 4 myths circulating on social media about the violence in Israel. The violence in Israel? Like, are they going to say that, like, myth, Israeli police have launched an assault on Al-Aqsa Mosque during Ramadan? Bitch, we saw it. It's on camera. Do they think that cameras don't exist? Sorry, let's hear what this one is going to say. Fact. The violence we are seeing is the result of Palestinian incitement. Yes, dude. They were praying really hard. Okay? I'm sorry, my friend. They were praying really fucking hard. And that's scary, bro. I'm just saying, dude. In the days leading up to the riots in the Temple Mount compound, Palestinians stockpiled stone slabs, rocks, and fireworks around the site. Isn't this wonderful? Like, a lot of you came into this community when you started watching the Black Lives Matter protests, and you saw the exact same counters from reactionary hog animals. Like, literally the exact same. The tool of the fascist reactionary is always to just make the marginalized come out to be this fucking demon. But because of the asymmetry of power at play here, it is a laughable fucking conversation to have. Thousands of worshippers leaving Friday prayer hurled rocks at Israeli police officers guarding the site, who responded accordingly. They had fireworks around the site. Videos from inside the mosque show stun grenades landing inside prayer rooms as projectiles used to disperse the crowds outside have gone through doors left wide open. Guys, they left the doors open. Obviously, if you leave your door open, I'm gonna have to fucking throw rubber bullets in there. Do you not understand, you fool? Oh, you simple fool. The doors were left open, so obviously, again, we are bloodthirsty animals, I guess, who can't control our urges to do murder, and therefore, you fucking have, you have doors open. I'm gonna throw a gas canister in there. Fact, or myth, the so-called assault on Al-Aqsa is a Jewish effort to suppress religious freedom. Fact, never has there been greater religious freedom from protection for all worshippers in Jerusalem since Israel took control of the city in 1967. When Jordan ruled the city, Jews were denied access to the Western Wall and to the cemetery on Mount of Olives, where Jews have buried their dead for more than 2,500 years. Nearly 60 synagogues were destroyed and Jewish tombstones were ground up and used to pave roads. Jordan also passed laws that barred Christian institutions from acquiring real estate and limited how many Christian schools could open. Wait. But that's what Israel does now. Wait, that's so weird. They're just like... the funniest part about these the funniest parts about these kinds of fucking countermeasures or like reactionary talking points is always like, it's so violent and aggressive what the Jordanians did to our people. Okay, well, but you're doing that right now. Like, you're literally doing that. So aren't you isn't that a self-own? Like, aren't you kind of saying like, it's kind of fucked up. These actions are kind of fucked up and no one should do it. Those rocks are just sitting there menacingly. Okay. Israel abolished all of Jordan's discriminatory laws and made it illegal to restrict access to sacred places, which is why Israel now restricts access of Muslims to sacred places. Literally stopping worshipers at checkpoints. This happened last week. There are checkpoints everywhere. Everywhere that Palestinians are allowed to travel to, there are Israeli checkpoints that stop them from traveling. And they literally stopped buses full of worshipers from getting to Al-Aqsa, forcing them to walk. This actually happened last week. What the fuck is he saying? Or whoever this person is. For example, the Muslim walk oversees the mosque on the Temple Mount while Israel oversees security. Myth. Eviction of families from Sheikh Jarrah is ethnic cleansing. This is not ethnic cleansing. This is a legal case. Dude, tell me how this is any different than Nazis literally saying it's illegal to be Jewish. And we need how do you say it? Lebensraum? Like living space. It's literally the same. You can say anything is legal. Slavery was fucking legal. The case centers on 6 families, and the Israeli Supreme Court hasn't ruled on whether the landowners can evict the families who have been at-will tenants on the land since the 1980s. Rather than wait for a court decision, Palestinians have made the families cause célébres. What? Celebrities? Like what? Inciting violent clashes with Israeli police and Jewish extremists. Wait, they even admit that, like... Oh, I didn't know that was celebrity for the cause. Cause célébres. I did not know what that meant. About something you said a bit ago, my friend says, there is no reason to talk about reforming Gaza and build schools and airports as long as Hamas is in power because it uses the resources only for war against Israel is proof of that. They had 4 years of peace from 2014 and did nothing to reform Gaza. Dude, are you fucking insane? Like, the 4 years of peace came at an untold amount of fucking dead babies and entire city blocks wiped out. Like, here, I'm going to tap the fucking... Hold on. I'm going to tap the sign, boys. I'm going to tap the fucking sign. Operation Protective Edge, where 2,000 Palestinians died. 2,104 Palestinians died. 495 were children and 253 women. Those are the Israeli numbers, too. They're literally currently bombing. Right now, as we speak, as we're having this conversation, I can't show you, but as we're having this conversation, they are bombing the fuck out of Gaza at this moment, and the ground invasion has started. Yo, but Israel's right to self-defense, though. Israel struggles to win hearts and minds in media war on Palestine, but it doesn't fucking matter. Like, it literally does not matter. It does not matter that they couldn't win the hearts and minds because they keep doing it, and the governments that they're showcasing here turn a fucking blind eye. Or, in the case of the United States of America, literally fucking fund these rockets. I don't know if this is real or not. Did the UK government actually send fighter jets to Israel to support the military invasion of Gaza? I don't know if that's... I don't know if that's real or not. It's unverified. Sorry. I was allowed to go to Al-Aqsa once in 4 years. I'm 19 years old. Sorry for spam, but this is one of the most hypocritical shit I've ever read. Boys, you don't understand. The best defense is a very strong offense. The best defense is... Boys, the best defense is ethnic cleansing. Like, it just... You don't understand it. They're just doing the best defense they can. Myth, this violence is about sovereignty in Jerusalem. Fact, the conflict over Jerusalem is fueling only part of the tension. Ah! Of course they fucking have to bring it back to Gaza. Yeah, always. Okay, we gotta fucking... The bad optics of fighting for your life. Yeah, dude. Barry Weiss is fighting for her life, boys. In the comfort of her esteemed, pillowy fucking life. Okay. Like, I need to defend my life from a New York fertility clinic. I am under fire, it feels like. Devastating. Absolutely devastating. I love this, dude. It's just so... What ethnic cleansing really looks like in Israel?
Israel.
Dude, I can't watch this, dude. This is terrible. I have some sympathy for Barry, why she had to go through canceling herself. That's super traumatic. The IDF didn't enter Gaza yet. That was a false alarm. I'm watching Al Jazeera with live feed from Gaza. They have lined up their tanks and military members at the border, haven't they? Trust me. And also, the IDF literally said they're entering Gaza. So, like, you might say that they haven't entered Gaza yet, but the IDF officially declared that they are entering Gaza. They're currently just airstriking. Okay, let's get back to this fucking epic tale. I'm writing to you from the waiting room of my fertility clinic. Getting pregnant when you are gay is not so romantic, so we try to do little things to make it nice. Last night I took a bath. We watched Mayor of Easttown. Nellie opened a bottle of red. Then she grabbed my stomach and gave me a shot to trigger ovulation. I plan to take the morning off. The doctor says that the stress is not good for the baby making. But sitting here, scrolling through my phone, looking at the tsunami of lies. Lies that have permeated every Instagram story and every viral meme and every TikTok video and every popular Twitter account, I am weeping. I'm sorry, dude. But, like, conservatives are literally right. Like, we are pussies. Okay? If you hyperventilate because you saw a fucking Twitter meme and it's, like, ruining my life, and the fucking meme itself is, like, not justifying ethnic cleansing in Palestine like the ones you're used to, like, you are a gigantic pussy. Oh my fucking God. It's crazy. This is crazy. Like, I'm fighting for my life. It appears that standing up for the right of innocent people to protect themselves from a genocidal terrorist organization have become extremely risky for one's brand. The worst thing that is happening in Palestine is not the ethnic cleansing. It's not the murder of children. It's that when I try to defend it, people call me out on it now. And that is really fucked up. That is really, really fucked up. The worst thing about genocide is when I defend it and people get mad at me. I'm getting canceled on Twitter again. Lies have replaced truth. Memes have replaced morality. Hashtags have replaced history. I'm speaking, of course, about Israel. In the past 48 hours, according to the Israeli Defense Forces, more than 1,500 rockets have rained down Israeli cities. Those rockets are being launched by Palestinian Islamic Jihad and by Hamas, which has controlled the Gaza Strip since Israel unilaterally withdrew from it and forcibly evacuated every last Jewish resident from the territory in 2005. Israelis have gotten used to living life in a kind of perpetual war. On Tuesday, Nelly was on a call with a journalist in Tel Aviv who abruptly hung up because the sirens started wailing. A friend sent a photo of his mother crouched in a bomb shelter. All okay, he said. Friends across country told me about huddling with their children, crying in safe rooms. It's fine, they insisted. But living life like this is not fine. It will never be fine to have children killed by terrorists whose explicit aim is to kill them. Okay. Serious question. Why are you writing this article after 13 babies were fucking murdered by the Israeli government? Like, how do you not see that, like, the Israelis that you talk to have a robust defense system? And thank God for it, by the way. Great. You know, have all the defenses that you want to have. But, like, how do you not recognize? How do you not recognize, dude, that, like, this is not an Israeli news source. This is Barry Weiss, who is an unconditional Zionist. This is 16-year-old Nadine Awad, an Arab citizen of Israel who was killed last night, along with her 52-year-old father Khalil, when a Hamas rocket fire from Gaza hit their home in central Israel. May their memories be a blessing. This is certainly not... Oh, God, that's the worst part about it. She's like, hey, listen, if, you know, this is absolutely fucking devastating. But also, on top of that, you need to see this. Do you think I don't think there are casualties on the Israeli side? Do you think that that's acceptable? Do you think that I think it's fine to fucking bomb Israel? Are you fucking stupid? I don't think any of that shit is acceptable, dumbass. But if you're not going to fucking mention, like, in the aftermath of a continued Israeli bombing campaign, how many fucking Palestinians have died, and then hyper focus on an Arab Israeli who, at a moment where Kristallnacht is literally occurring, where Arab Israelis are getting beaten the shit out of, and people like Jewish Israelis are looking for Arab Israeli citizens to beat the fuck out of, like to use an Arab Israeli as a propaganda mouthpiece that recently just died with their father, is fucking disgusting. You act like it? No, motherfucker. It makes you... When have you ever denounced Hamas? When have you ever denounced Hamas? Are you fucking stupid? What do you think? I like a fundamentalist Islamist group? Like, I don't understand what this fucking take is. Why are you literally a fucking Nazi, dude? I came here 10 minutes ago, so and you haven't you haven't mentioned Hamas, so you must be in defense of Hamas. Plus, you're Muslim, so that doesn't help. With my POV that you're probably blindly loyal to Hamas or some shit. Haven't heard you denounce Al Qaeda this stream. Yeah, I know. I have to do that. Hold on, guys. Let me get it out of the way again. You know, there's like I gotta check in with everybody who is just joining, who might not know my position. Guys, I'm a leftist, okay? So I denounce all Islamist fundamentalist extremist groups, from Wahhabis, Wahhabi extremism, to Hamas, to Al Qaeda, to ISIS, to the Taliban. I just want to let you guys know that I am not fine with these groups and the way that they operate, specifically because they believe the opposite of everything I believe. Okay? They believe literally the opposite of everything I believe. So I'm just letting you know. Not good enough. Also, didn't mention Boko Haram. Hassan is a terrorist. Oh, Boko Haram. Armenian genocide happened. Hold on, let me get through all of it, dude. Holy shit. But of course, I also denounce the terrorist leaders of terrorist nations like Bibi Netanyahu and Israel, and the United States with Joe Biden and Donald Trump. So, you know, that's a given as well. I just want to let you guys know that you might not like it, but I am consistent on that. So, anyway, another reminder or another hourly break that I need to take is also, aside from denouncing every cell that has ever, every militant group that's ever existed, it's also top of the hour, which means there's a 60-second ad break coming, and I do not denounce that. I do have to run one right now, but if you'd like to no longer see the ads, I mean, obviously, there are things that you can do, like subscribing to the broadcast. If you like it, you should. You can do that for $5 with a regular Tier 1 subscription, or with a Twitch Prime, which is free. So, there it is. This was Barry Weiss's priorities during the BLM protest last summer. Businesses trying to rebound after unrest face a challenge. Oh, fucking Christ. I can't believe Halsey posted about Michael Brooks. That's so great. That's fucking awesome, dude. Rest in power to Michael Brooks. Yo, where are the posts of the Palestinian dead kids? Oh, wait, they literally have jack shit? What? What do you mean? Where are the posts of the Palestinian dead kids? I don't know what this is saying. Oh, here, by the way, I forgot to run the ad, but here's the ad break now. Sorry. They're saying no post about Palestinian kids. Oh, yeah, of course not. The media literally fucking rips you. I mean, even I've gotten fucking censored by Twitter for saying Israel's violent actions against Palestine or some shit. Okay, let's watch
Middle East.
Let's watch a video real quick.
Full-scale war between Israel and Hamas as deadly clashes escalate. Matt Gutman is there on the front lines in Israel. Matt.
Hey, good morning, Michael. Right here is where a rocket landed earlier this morning, firing shrapnel at 360 degrees. And the shock waves from that blast punched in those walls. The 100-pound warhead apparently ignited all of these cars. And just as we were standing here, we found a toddler's pair of shorts that appeared to be blown out of one of these apartments. Now, scenes like this are
that's Hamas shorts.
Making the UN's warning of a possible full-scale war seem much more likely this morning.
Overnight, the sky igniting with Israeli airstrikes and Hamas rocket fire. As Israeli warplanes howled over Gaza, this salvo of missiles ripping into this 14-story building. Drone video flying over the debris fields. Israel said it was targeting Hamas infrastructure.
Serious question, what is the end game of the scenario? What are the possible repercussions of Israel's actions? Nothing. And the end game is complete, full, total annihilation.
But warned civilians before bombing. Palestinian health officials say over 80 people have been killed, including Hamas operatives, but also dozens of civilians and at least 17 children, nearly 500 wounded. Hamas has launched over 1,600 rockets towards Israel the past few days. Those rockets,
for the record, these aren't Hamas rockets. These are Iron Dome rockets.
Targeting the Tel Aviv metro area where nearly half of the population lives. A Palestinian rocket hitting this Israeli apartment building. Rescuers scrambling to get people out. Some brought out on stretchers. Those air raid sirens wailing almost hourly, including while we were on the air.
Another siren sounding, which means there's about a minute and 30 seconds before the rockets start falling. There they are. You can see some of it looks like Iron Dome Projectile rising right above us.
And there is little sign of let up.
That they are not running out of rockets just yet. They have fired quite a lot of rockets, but unfortunately they've been able to stockpile a lot of rockets over the last years. So that is not the case.
Would you say there are thousands more?
I would say that there are thousands more.
The conflict also spreading to the West Bank, where Israeli troops clashed with Palestinian protesters. In the Israeli town of Lod, ethnic Palestinian citizens of Israel clashing with police, leaving dozens wounded. They say they are demonstrating against being treated as second-class citizens. And south of Tel Aviv, this horror. A mob of right-wing Jewish activists pulling a terrified Arab motorist out of his vehicle, even using an Israeli flag to beat him.
Literally fucking, that's white supremacist terror. Like, that's straight up white supremacist terror. There's also a report of what do you call it? A right-wing Israeli mob beating the shit out of a Jewish person because they thought he was fucking Arab, for the record. And even Haaretz and Israeli media has covered that as a lynching, for the record. They are second-class citizens. And not only that, but also the IDF either turns a blind eye to this or literally supports it.
Now, today is Eid al-Fitr. It's one of the holiest days in Islam, and we've spoken to Palestinians here in Israel and in Gaza, and they're telling us it does not feel like a holiday. Now, President Biden has said it is his hope that we will soon see a cessation of violence. The Israeli military telling me it has no timeline right now, and if it has to, it will launch a ground campaign into Gaza, so certainly no immediate end to the violence in sight. George.
It has exploded so quickly. Okay, Matt, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, they beat the shit out of a fucking Knesset Jewish member. Like, even if you're a Jew, even if you're an Israeli citizen, if you're fucking standing in solidarity with the Palestinians, you'll get your fucking ass beat by the IDF. They'd have to be citizens to be second class. Israel treats them like the fucking Taliban, except they're mostly civilians. Why don't you at least say that extremist Arabs have also kicked the shit out of a random Jew in Acre? One, because I didn't know about it. And two, like, again, if we're comparing, like, what is going on, the brutality and the fucking violence that people are being subjected to, are you really going to make the argument that, like, that Israel's casualties match up with the Palestinians? Unless you literally think that, like, a Palestinian life is worth nothing. As the holy month of Ramadan comes to an end, Jill and I send our warmest greetings to all those celebrating Eid. May you all well be throughout the year. Eid Mubarak. Yeah, dude. Eid Mubarak, my fucking ass, dude. You fucking stupid geriatric bitch. Tuyil. Here's two Israelis who are clearly not in harm's way, shielding themselves from opposing Hamas. Safe to show for stream.
חבר'ה, להשתטח. תשתטחו בשכיבה. כולם. חבר'ה, להשתטח על הרצפה בשכיבה, על הבטן, כמה שפחות שטח פנים למעלה. הכל בסדר, גילה. להשתטח כמה שיותר. גילה, everything is okay, גילה.
Everything's fine. Well, it's finishing.
Don't worry.
מה זה?
I mean, it's still fucked up. It doesn't matter if they're not actually in fucking harm's way. Like, they're still fucking terrified of, like, incoming, like, rocket fire. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Like, but always remember that if on the Israeli side you have people that are this fucking afraid, remember those air sirens mean that, like, the Iron Dome is going to protect them. Palestinian side, though, there is no fucking air siren or there is no air horn. It's just a mortar shell that already blows up a part of your fucking apartment, and then immediate fucking bombings that occur, and you have no shelter to go to. All you can do is leave your fucking apartment, which will then get obliterated Okay? So just remember that. Like, if you feel terrible, as I do, for Jewish people that are on the Israeli side, like genuinely fearful for their lives, then remember that on the other side, they have no protection. Like, they have nothing. So